Welcome, you guys. All right, just setting this up. Okay, so we're gonna do something somebody asked yesterday if I could do an essential oils tips for newbies kind of thing. Just kind of like the basics, because there's stuff that I point out in some of my lectures that they didn't know before. And so just to do something fun, my name is Jen O'Sullivan and I'm a health and wellness coach and advocate. I am a massive essential oil addict, and if you knew my essential oil intake per day as far as how I put it on and use it all day long, you'd think I was nuts, but I love it so much and have for 8 years. So this is a little bottle of lavender. I'm going to use this for our example oil today just because most people, when you talk about essential oils, they know, oh yeah, lavender essential oils. But a lot of people get confused and think, well, am I supposed to put it in tea, or like, what is that stuff? So just from a general perspective, I'm not going to get into the science behind this. That's what I'm known for. I teach in very deep topical things on like a 102 class. You can get on my YouTube channel. But to understand essential oil and to understand kind of why it's in this amber bottle, they're in amber bottles because you shouldn't be storing them in the sun. So I wouldn't want to be putting this in the sun or even a sunny spot in my house. So the thing about it is, the other thing, so again, that's why it's in an amber glass. The other thing though is that you shouldn't be shaking them up. When you shake it, there's a little bit of oxygen, which is the air space in the bottle. I don't know if you guys can see that from here, but there's a little bit of air space in the top. And because this is a practically full bottle. And whenever you shake anything, it's going to oxygenate that item. So even a drink or anything, the more you shake it, the more it oxygenates. And oxygen is going to oxidize. It's going to cause some oxidative stress, is what that's called. And that stress is actually going to cause the constituents to break down a little bit. So we want to be careful about shaking our oils. The other thing, when you open this, just so you're aware, we don't ever want to touch the orifice reducer. So this kind of plastic clear thing is called an orifice reducer. All different companies have different reducers. The essential oil comes out of the middle hole, but on this brand, this is Young Living, there is a pinhole. So it's kind of hard to see, but once you find it, you'll always be able to kind of see. If you look at this like a tire, right, you've got the hole in the middle, then you've got the outer ring, but in between the outer and the inner, I'm not going to touch it, but my finger is hovering pretty far away, you guys can see here. But in between there, right where my fingernail is, that's where a little tiny hole is. It looks like a little pin hole. That's where the oil is coming out. So remember, some of you guys have seen my Oil 102 stuff where I talk about how small these constituents are. They're usually under 300 AMU or Daltons, which is tiny, okay? So that's where the oil is coming out, and this hole, the big one in the middle, is kind of like, you know, when you get laundry detergent, the big bottles now, and you put it, you know, on the side and it's got the spigot, and then it has like a top nozzle. Well, if you don't undo that top nozzle, the stuff will never come out. So that's, it's kind of an air intake hole to allow the stuff to come out. So we usually want to put that hole on the bottom or underneath the center air intake hole, and then you would just drop a drop. So I'm going to show you how to drop a drop, because the other thing is some people think, I just want a little bit, so I'm going to touch it. I teach not to ever touch the orifice reducer. You're basically transferring any oils and epithelials and any other germs or whatever. Germs are not a big deal with oils because it's going to kill it, but my epithelial skin cells in small amounts are being transferred to this. So if, you know, I go through this in a month, I don't really care if I touch this because I know I'm going to use it quickly. But if I was like keeping this for a long time and wanted to use this over, say, a year or so, because essential oils essentially don't go bad. They do go bad, though, when you start touching the tops. What's going to end up happening is that's just going to cause some contamination in there. So, you know, some people are super particular and they'll, you know, watch, okay? If I'm smelling this, just right around here is good. We don't have to like shove it up in your nose. And I see a lot of people do that. They're like, and I'm like, no, don't touch it. You don't need to put your nose all over my oils. But everybody's different, okay? So just know that don't touch the orifice reducer. That's what I teach. It's what I learned over 8 years ago. because of the contamination factor. I was told at the time that it actually changes the frequency of the oil, and I think it only changes the frequency because of the contamination. So, okay, to get 1 drop, some of the oils, like say lemon, that are really, really thin oils and they drop fast, you can stick that little hole that I just talked about on the top, and then that's going to slow down the flow. But if you have an oil like say vetiver, which is really slow, you usually have to like warm up the oil a little bit with your hand and then make sure, and you'll even see the pinhole on that one is larger. Then you just wait for it, and you got to have patience. But on lavender, I'll show you. What I'm going to look for is this drop, and it's good I've got some shadow here. I'll try to do it in there so you can see. But the 1 drop is going to form, and then once I see it drop, I lift it up, okay? That's how to get just 1 drop, and that's what we want. We want usually just 1 drop. So now I've got this beautiful little drop in the palm of my hand, and a quick little thing to do as far as activating this oil. It's kind of like, you know, when you're activating positive and negative ions for magnetic purposes. You've seen this done before, where you turn them in one direction, and if they're all going in the same direction, it's a better thing, because right now they're all just jumbled up. So what I'm going to do is put my hand like this. So this is my non-dominant hand. It's my left hand. I'm going to go like this and do 1 turn, just like that. It's not even it's a 180 turn, okay? That has basically, you could do that, or you could just turn it in your hand like that 3 times. Just go like if you're going to rub it on somewhere. So now that these oils are activated on both palms, I'm going to smell it really deep. Okay, 1. I'm cupping my nose, and I'm deeply breathing. So it's like, okay, as deep as I can get it, and I try to do that 3 times, and then I have leftover oil, so you know, I can rub it on wherever I want, or I can hold it on wherever I want. So if I was going to take this oil and hold it on, what that is doing is it's casing in the oil. They're highly volatile, which means they escape into the air. So by holding them right now, I got some into my nose really well. I got it all up into the olfactory area, but I'm holding it now on my body. I could do this on my feet, and it's actually pushing the oils into my skin deeper. So I still have oil. This stuff, cheap oil, you guys, so I'm going to rub it on my feet. Cheap oil dries really fast because they use alcohol as fillers. High quality pure essential oil, meaning the entire bottle has pure oil, will dry very slow. An oil that is cut with a filler of, say, an oily oil will never fully dry. And so you can do a fun test. So those of you guys who want to test out your oils, I don't have a piece here, but if you can just get a white cotton piece of paper, if you can use 100% cotton, it's the best. You can get like letterhead at Kelly paper or something, but just grab a piece of white paper and take 3 different brands of oils if you can. Like find a really cheap one, find one that over the counter. I mean, you can find them all over the place, and then buy one that maybe you are hoping is a purer oil, and then do a drop on each. I usually label which oils they are, and then once you do those drops, let them dry and watch. And it will be kind of frustrating. You're welcome. It'll be kind of frustrating because the ones that are pure dry, they take a long time, so you might start freaking out thinking, is there an oily oil in there? Is it cut with something? It just takes a long time to dry, like 4 or 5 hours sometimes. So just know that. Not a test to be done in a class, because it takes forever. But the ones that are cut with an alcohol will dry very quick, and usually with no residue circle. So it looks pure, but when it dries in under an hour, you know that there's alcohol in there. The other one, if it dried with a spot where it left like an oily ring, all that means is it's cut with an oily oil. So with a pure essential oil, you should see nothing. It should dry it should take a very long time to dry, and there should be you should not be able to see any residual effect afterwards, okay? So come here, Buster. I'm watching my mom's dog. Come here. I don't know if he'll come over here. I've got lavender on me. Come here. Oh, wait, he's little, so I'll show you guys. He's little. Say hi. This is little Buster, and he's like 14 years old. He's super old, so he can't see very well. But dogs, it's okay to, like, I've got the smell on me, and they'll tell you, you know, they'll let you know if they like it or not, and they'll try to get away. But he's doing pretty good and he's not running away. But dogs are more like babies, so you can actually use essential oils on an animal, and it's okay. They're usually really good with it. So it's just one of those things where with a dog, you want to treat them like a baby. So what I mean by that is, like, I would hold, yeah, you're sweet. And he's just sniffing it and he's fine. So I'm not a big dog person. I grew up with dogs, but we just don't have dogs. So he's staying over here for a little bit, so it's kind of fun. Okay, best place to apply on pets, on their coat is fine. You can actually like put it on your hands with a little bit of oil and just rub the back of their coat, but also their paws. So their paws are like our feet, a really good place to put oils, but add an oily oil, like a carrier oil, like use grapeseed or coconut or whatever your carrier oil of choice is. But then be aware of their little greasy feet walking around your house. So, you know, maybe when they're getting ready for bed, or if you want to put them in the kennel for a little bit, but really, really dilute. The reason for that is they tend to lick it off. So just be aware of that. And it's not a big deal, but if you just pay attention to which oil you're using. So those are just some really, really general basics. If you didn't catch this whole thing, watch the replay, only because it's just basics that you may not have learned. There are so many things I teach, and you're gonna catch a lot of weird things that I do differently just because I've been using them for so long. The oil like revolution has really only been the past like 2 to 3 years where people have been like blowing up with wanting to use oils, and I just see a lot of kind of questionable practices. But at the end of the day, use oils, just put them on, you know, smell them, enjoy them, because that's what they're for. So all right, hope that helped. And again, my name is Jen O'Sullivan. You can see all of my websites and places to get a hold of me in my profile. YouTube's not listed on there, but everything is basically Jen O'Sullivan. I don't know. I mean, I don't use their deodorant, so she's asking if I will talk about how to use Young Living deodorant. Are you talking about how to make your own deodorant? Because I do know that. And if you guys are interested in learning recipes and letting me, I can sit here and do little recipes for you as well. So I'm happy to do whatever you guys want. Those of you guys who are friends with me on Facebook, just ask a question. Say, hey, I'd love to see a video on this. And that's where this one came from, because somebody just said, hey, I'm kind of new and I'd like to know kind of the general idea behind oils. Okay, so hopefully those tips were good enough for you guys. Yeah, a weird way to apply for a deodorant. For me, I am the simple, quick, and easy girl. So I kid you not, you can put 2 drops of purification right in your pits, both sides, rub it on neat, no carrier oil needed, and you're good to go. Like, no joke, you won't stink. You will sweat, but you won't stink. So the DIY deodorants that people will do have different elements in it to help, you know, not sweat. But if you don't mind sweating, but you just don't want to stink, purification is fantastic. It's one of my all-time favorite oils, and I use it on the bottom of my feet every day. And that's actually a funner thing too. I'll show you, to put oil on your feet without touching it, because I don't like smelling like a hippie all the time. I will drop an oil here and rub them together. Okay, so hope that helped. Always fun. Good seeing you guys, and I look forward to seeing you on the next post. All right, share this with your friends, and give hearts on the replay, because we love that. It's always fun to see who's out there, and then I reconnect with whoever's given me the most hearts. All right, thanks guys. Take care.